Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It is time for Survival Saturday. And tonight's topic, well, let's see, cooking without power or gas, firewood's wet. Yeah. Anyways, so this is what we're going to be talking about. And how's everybody doing out there? Oh, and I forgot. It's raining. It's pouring down raining. How are you going to cook? All right, let me go over and look at the chat here. Make sure I said hi to everybody. So first one in was Prepper for the Ages. You should be back shortly. Then Aiden Air, Phelan Clan Wolf, Sarah Boss, Sassy Gal Prepping, Hunting and Stuff with J&J. It's the Marshmallow Man, Walt Rogers, Prepper 101. Everybody's talking back and forth there. Is this show live or recorded from the future? I can't say. Quantum physics is so hard. It might be the future. It might be the past. Prepper 101. Hey, Shawnee. I don't think you can use that type of gas to cook with Prepper 101. All right. So this is kind of a scenario where, certain things have happened in place, and all of a sudden you realize, wow, the supply chain, the electricity's out. If you have a gas stove, the gas is out too. You go check your propane tanks. It's like, oh crap, how come they're all empty? And you go firewood, and you go to grab the firewood pile, and it's pouring down rain, and all the firewood's wet. And you're like, crap, what do I do now? Other than eating cold food, what can you do? Think about it, folks. Make a comment. This is going to work its way through. See how many people make a comment here. Hand warmers. Won't get stuff hot enough. But that's good. Shawnee, you're thinking outside the box. I like it. Everyone else is afraid to say something. I know two people in the chat know because we've talked about it before. So, and they're fortunately or thankfully, they're being quiet about it. Something outside the box. Sternal. Okay, you go get your sternal. You open the can up and it's dry. Now I'm just okay. That's a good thought, but and it's functional. Yeah, but let's look at something else. And you're thinking, all right, guys, you're thinking, gals, you're thinking, what else can we use? And then you remember, out in the garage in the back by the camping stuff, there's a bag of charcoal briquettes. Fire was wet. It's pouring down rain. You can try barbecuing in charcoal briquettes out in the rain. You can use it if you got a patio. You can you bring the barbecue on the patio where it's covered. Do not use hibachis indoors like a lot of idiots do. And I'm not going to say which state, California. And yeah, if you can find a spot where it's dry and you got charcoal briquettes, you can cook. Now, if you don't have a spot outside to cook, but you have a wood burning stove, you can do the charcoal briquettes in the wood burning stove. Now, and here's where it gets interesting. So we're going to talk mainly about the wood burning stove, but you can do this in other ones such as this. Make sure I get what my next picture is here. Make sure I don't get it. Okay. And you can do this even when it's not raining, but this works really good, especially when everybody's without gas power and it's been out for several days and people are getting really hungry. They want something warm. Let's see what else we got here. Here you got charcoal briquettes. You wrap it in foil. Hey, Utah Mike. So, let me see. Let me bring me up here like this. All right. So, if you have a wood burning stove, you can cook in that wood burning stove with charcoal briquettes. You don't have to have a big fire going. And even if you don't have charcoal briquettes, if you have the natural charcoal chunks you can get, which people usually use when, like the oak ones or the cherry wood or whatever, or when they're trying to do special flavorings on whatever they're smoking and cooking and stuff. Hey, you just need to cook. And you don't have to have a big fire in your wood burning stove if you're using these using charcoal. You get a fire going. Excuse me. You get a fire, and you can spread it. You can put a couple off to the side and put a couple more briquettes on to get the new one starting. And you put your meals into foil. Okay, so let me go back. I thought I had one when I had it open here. Let's see here. Okay. Main thing to remember is you don't want to have the foil up in the flames. You want it down in the coals. Well, you push the flames and stuff to the side and put it on the coals separately, like here. So when I was, my boys were in Cub Scouts. One of the things they'd learned in Cub Scouts is how to do fix-it and foil dinners. That's a big thing for Cub Scouts, is cooking meals in foil. And it's really neat because there's a lot of recipes for fixing things in foil. Let's see if I can get some things changed over. I'm going to bring something up here for you guys. There it is. I was looking all over today trying to find my cookbook here. I have the Fix It and Foil cookbook. I've shown it on here. It's been a couple of years since I've shown it, but I had shown it. And what's interesting, well, the one thing I've noticed when cooking for scouts, in comparison to some of the books out here, is that most of them, they don't tell you to double layer it like we do in Scouts. And when you double layer the foil, it helps keeps the meal from burning, even when you have it sitting right on the coals. Now, I'm going to go through some books. So I have this one here. Here's some other ones. Fix It, cooking in foil for ovens, barbecue, and camping. Okay. And that's the thing is, back when I was little, before I was in Cub Scouts, my grandmother and mother used to do foil dinners in the oven. Here's ones for over a barbecue. The thing is, when you're cooking above, you have flames and stuff, and you're cooking above it, you want to make sure you're at least double wrapped, if not triple wrapped. There are a whole bunch of nice recipes here that you can do. All right. Now, looking at this cover here, one of the things we would do for cooking stuff, we would crinkle up the first layer of foil. So when you set the meat, the potatoes, the vegetables on it, they're lifted off of the foil, off a part of the foil. They're not laying flat on, like you smooth out the foil, you lay a piece of steak on it, you pile everything on it, you fold it up. Well, the bottom was laying on there, and there's no way for the juices to get around it easily. So you crinkle it up so the juices can flow around it and can help steam and cook it that way. And so you do your first layer and you do your second layer. And if you're really worried, if you got about, about it, you can put a third layer on it. It also depends on how thick the foil is you're using as well. All right. So, yeah, so there are several ones out there. And I almost grabbed, I was tearing the place apart trying to find the Fix It in Foil cookbook that I have here. And so I pulled these all up, and then I remembered, wait a minute, my mom's Better Homes and Garden cookbook had several foil recipes in it. I went to look through some of those. I figured, I didn't have time. I had to come back in here, but there are a lot of, if you look for them, there are a lot of foil cooking things. And it's great is that, they're set up, oh, this is what you can do in the oven. Well, you don't have to do it in the oven. You can do it in the, in a barbecue. You can do it in the wood burning stove. Any place you can make a fire, you can have the briquettes, you can cook. Now, the other thing you can do, even though it could be raining out like this, if you have one of those pop-up shelters, you set it up there, you get a shovel out there, and you dig yourself a little fire pit, so you're down into the dry dirt there and stuff. You cook it right there. You get the fire going and stuff, and you make sure it's wide enough that you can lay the foil things around it to do the heat and make it easier to turn. Let me bring this up here again. Sort of like this. You have your coals in the middle, and you put your meals around it. Yeah, car engine on foil. We've done that on construction work. The big excavators and loaders and dozers on those diesel motors on the exhaust manifold. I put big old burritos in there, wrapped with about 5 or 6 layers of foil up on there. You put them in there at the first 15-minute break, and then 2 hours later at lunchtime, take them off. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh yeah, delicious. Actually, I got a brand new one out there specifically for emergency cooking. And we got a couple propane griddles and stuff like that, and but we got we have a Weber rectangular kettle to do this type of foil cooking in. All right. Now, one of the things with this, and this is, getting a lot of people to understand, is you definitely need to put multiple layers of foil on it. It diffuses the heat, moves it around, and if you crinkle everything up, you get air pockets between the first layer and the second layer, so the heat moves around more evenly. Got the first layer being crinkled up, the food's up against, allows the juices and stuff to condense and run down underneath. And it really helps stuff cook better that way and not burn. Now, let me go ahead and drop this here so I can bring, if any of you out there that are commenting so far, and you've done this sort of stuff, and you want to come up, there comes the link. And then let me pin it. There we go. It's pinned. But yeah, and if you want to learn some simple, easy recipes for fixing it in foil and cooking it in campfires and stuff, volunteer with either the Cub Scouts or the Boy Scouts. You will learn this stuff. we thought, and doing fish, we've done fish a lot at scout camp in foil. And my brother used to, you put the fish in there, he'd have a bottle of olive oil, drizzle a little olive oil on it, and just help it keep it from burning and make it good and stuff. And then put his little seasonings in on it and stuff. Sometimes you put the stuff in there, get it halfway done, pull it out, open it back up, put more seasonings or what on it, and put it back in. When he's doing steak that way, he would cook certain things separately, like potatoes and stuff, and then he would open that up and add that to the meat because they take longer to cook, and then he'd put the meat in and cook it in together that way. So now that's one of the ways you can cook in foil and do the stuff up like that. The other way is to, if you have the charcoal briquettes, and even in a wood burning stone, if you have a big enough door. Hey, Lewis.
Hey.
Yeah, so if you have a big enough door to get a decent sized Dutch oven in there, what you can do is you can wrap all your meals up in the foil and then put the foil in the Dutch oven. That way you have the briquettes underneath the Dutch oven and on top of the lid in your wood burning stove. And that works really good too, if your wood burning stove has a big enough door and is able to do that.
Cooking in a fireplace, the old school fireplaces.
Yeah. With the
I had to do that one.
Yeah, with the fireplaces, I would, if you have charcoal briquettes, you can. However, you better make sure you got a good draw on that fireplace, because the charcoal briquettes aren't going to be creating a lot of heat to cause a draw through the up the chimney. So you hope you have a cap on there that helps increase the draw, because if you're just cooking in a fireplace and you don't have a good draw, all the carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide off the briquettes are going to come right back in the house.
This was in the middle of the winter and I was using firewood. Yeah. And I just let it die down the coals and put my wood barbecue rack into the fireplace and cooked whatever I needed.
Yeah. And that's another good way too. If you all right, now if you have some dry firewood in the house, and you can do that, and then you can just align wet firewood around in front, like a half moon in front of the fireplace, so it can dry out while you got the other fire going. But yeah, if you so long as you got down the coals and stuff, you can, the coals and little white ash and stuff in there, you can cook in foil really well. Any questions in the side chat? But two ways I love to campfire cook is in a Dutch oven and in foil. And what's really neat about foil is the cleanup is so easy if you do it right. And you can, and if you time everything right, you can do baked potatoes, put them in earlier, and then you can do one with the carrots and other vegetables, and then you can put the meat, or you can try putting them all in together, and you got to turn it so that your meat gets up on top. Start do your meat a little bit on the bottom, on top, turn it around, move the coals around. It's an art form that, first time out, you may get lucky, you may not. But you play with it and you work with it and have extra foil there so you can test it, pull out some of one of the packages, open it up, and in case you accidentally tear the foil, you can pull it back up as you can, put another layer over it to keep the ash out of it. But generally, let me see if I can pull something else up here. Real quick here. Foil.
Yeah, Vaseline and lint from your dryer works as a good fire starter.
Yeah.
If you got wet wood and you just, someone else mentioned to feather it down into small little, like almost splinter sized pieces, and then build it up from there.
All right, let's see if I can pull some of this up here. Okay, we got, I hope this one's going to show it. Hang on, let me get this up here. So they got it here. I'm looking for, because most of the foil you find, let me bring this up. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so everyday meals, foil, nothing special about it. If I'm using this type of foil, I'm putting 3 or 4 layers on it, because this is thin foil. And if you're doing stuff like that, it's going to be thin. So let's see if I can find the other one here real quick. There we go, right there. And go in here and see if I can find it, if Sam's Club still carries it this way. I know we've gone to the chef's store when it was Smart and Final to get this. Heavy duty foil, it's coming up. It may be in here. Yeah. All right, so you got the everyday foil here, and then you got the heavy duty foil here. And hang on, get something right. There we go. So you got standard foil over there. You got a heavy duty foil here. The Members Mark heavy duty, it's probably not as heavy duty as the Reynolds heavy duty. And this is still the small stuff. Generally, we get the big one, and that is heavy. We get the commercial heavy duty foil. It's a lot thicker. Hey, CB, how's it going? And so the thicker the foil, the heavier duty is, the better. It transfer heats around, all around through, and it keeps it from spot burning.
You know those I don't know if they're aluminum or tin foil, but they're easily to bend, but they're tough. They're like tin foil trays.
Mm-hmm.
Would those work too?
Those might work for if you put those down, and then you put your foil wrap dinners inside that, put another one inside of that, and put more coals on top of it to help control where the coals are and stuff. But I'm not sure that the manufacturing process is the same on it. It's like Shawnee says, there is a difference in foils. Those aluminum tray ones may not take as high as heat, because they're just made to sit in the oven and not be over an open flame. Don't know. Hey, MB Heritage Farms, how's it going? And so when you're cooking in foil, you want to get the heaviest duty foil, and that's why I say you do multiple layers on it, and you rotate it every 5 minutes. You turn it. That way, it when it's on the coals, it's not getting burnt on one side. All the heat on one side, so it's not totally damaging the foil. You roll it around, and when you go to wrap it up, so you lay it out, you put the food in it, you wrap it up, and so now you have this extra thick foil on top. When you put it in the next one, you turn it over and you wrap the other stuff up the other way. That way, you have double extra thickness on each side of it there. And that way, it works for doing that. Mike, let's see. Solar ovens work from the sunshine, daytime. Yeah, okay. Problem is, like last week, wouldn't work at all. When it's cloud cover, solar ovens don't work. Yeah. And that's what's neat about these recipe books that I was showing here. Let me throw it up here. Boom. Like Fix It in Foil. They go in there and they have, is it going to show? It's not going to show inside. Some will have it where it has you do a sneak peek. Let's see if any of these others have a sneak peek on them. All right. So it's got some of the recipes there. So you got, there we go, lemon dill rainbow trout with carrots and fennel. And then it goes through. It's not showing the place on preheated grill, cook for 10 to 12 minutes, rotating packs occasionally until vegetables are tender. So, they got different recipes for stuff like that. Yeah, so like I say, you need to learn to cook, because cooking times for, does this one have any? Read sample. There we go. Does have it? It has all the stuff in the beginning. Come on, let's see some recipes here, folks. Okay. Greased aluminum foil. Yeah. Yeah. So whatever type book you get, read it first. Don't just pop off of the thing. Learn what they need to do beforehand. Hey, checked off. How's it going? There are some good recipes there in some of these. I have to go back and find some of them. I know in one of the recipe books my mom had, and I'm not sure if it's here or still in California with my wife, but it listed cooking in the oven and then cooking on a barbecue and cooking in a campfire. So that's one of the things just to consider is, different ways of cooking in foil. Now, if you're sticking a Dutch oven into a wood burning stove and you got the briquettes below it and on top of it, and you've done everybody's individual meals and you put it inside the you got inside Dutch oven, you can use the tongs. You can lift the lid out, set it up on top of the stove, and you get like an UV glove mitt or whatever. You can reach in, turn over the foils and stuff, move things around and stuff, make sure everything's getting cooked properly. The other way to do it is if you're just going to go ahead and line the Dutch oven with foil, and then you put make it like a stew in there or something like that. That's the other way to cook, using the charcoal briquettes in a wood burning stove in the house. If you have all right, the fireplace we had in the house in California before we took it out actually had a sealed, the glass doors on it. So when you closed it, it kept, until the fire got really, everything heated up and drafty, it kept any of the carbon monoxide from coming back into the house. If you have one of those, that makes it safer for cooking in a fireplace with charcoal briquettes, whether it's the small ones or it's the big chunk of charcoal you're cooking with. Mark's here. Everybody give him a bad time. Oh, I will never. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to be careful. That's why I said, you know, in a fireplace, unless you have one of those things that closes it off, so it has to draft up, don't use it in a fireplace. A wood burning stove, perfectly fine to use it inside of a wood burning stove. Because the wood burning stove is contained and it draws up and it draws air in from below. Now, the other thing is too, is on the type of charcoal you're using depends, I mean, also dictates some problems too. If you're using some of the natural charcoal ones you can get that are not press formed sawdust like Kingsford, they've been adding more and more chemicals to some of these that are press formed, you know, so you can match light them and stuff like that. I don't like using those for cooking with anywhere at any time. Even out in the barbecue outside, you know, I don't like using the match light stuff. I don't like using certain brands because they have other chemicals added to it. Now, one of the things you can do other than charcoal, I have not done this. I just never got around to doing it. I've had several of the Scoutmasters say they've done it. The Presto logs, they've gotten Presto logs going and they cook next to the Presto logs and just turn the foils next to a Presto log.
Is that one of the self-cleaning chimney logs?
No. See, I've cooked top of wood burning stove. Yeah, that's the thing is you got to get the stove hotter than normal. But if you have the firewood, but if, like I said in the beginning, if the firewood is wet and you found a bag of charcoal briquettes in the garage, it's nice and dry. Yeah. All right. It depends how you're cooking. I got 3 bags from, you know, you get the double bags from Sam's Club or Costco. I got 3 bags out in my cargo container right now. When I pull one of those bags out, I'll get another 2-pack and put in there. I got how many of the Presto logs? I just never used the Presto logs before. I got them, I just never cooked them. And let me see if I can put this up here. PRE. All right, so everybody kind of knows the Duraflame ones. The Duraflame ones have some. They got several different types of Duraflame ones. Some of them have some the chemicals in it. You get the total just sawdust pressed ones and stuff that don't have anything else in them. They're generally but look, if you read what's on the package for what's in the Presto logs, you want to try to use as the ones that have as fewest chemicals as possible. And I know they got some have paraffin in it, but there were some of them for a while. They had something else in there that burned a little bit hotter than the paraffin to really get it going. Yeah, it may have been like these premium ones or something. You see these burned like for 3 hours. Does this one say how many hours on it? Can't read it. But yeah, if you have Duraflame logs, yeah, I wouldn't open cook anything on the Duraflame logs, any of the Presto logs, unless it's pure, just compressed sawdust, and there's no binder in it at all. Just an extreme pressure hold, you know, pressed it together. 18 charcoal per pound can cook a meal on 18 charcoal. About depending on it and the size, like if you're using a Dutch oven, depending on the size of the Dutch oven, depicts how many briquettes you need to put underneath and how many you need to put on top. And so sometimes you, generally, I put twice as many on top as I do underneath because they're trapped underneath. And so you're getting more heat into the bottom of the Dutch oven and radiating up into the food. The ones on top have to radiate down, and they're losing some of their heat upwards. But one bag of the bags from Costco or Sam's Club, 3 or 4 days easy, 3 meals a day cooking with those. If you still charcoal a tote with a lid on it, will it last you? Oh yeah. Just in the bags, you just put the bags laying in the garage. They'll last 10, so long as they don't get wet. And even if they get wet once they dry out, they don't burn quite as good for some reason. But it's once it's dried out again, they'll still burn. But if you just store them in the garage or wherever and they're dry, they never get wet. Infinity. They're good forever and ever. Same thing with the Duraflames and the other Presto logs and stuff. Let's see if I can find it. I'm looking here for something else here.
If you wanted, you probably could some wood onto it on the charcoal.
Off to the side. If you're going to use the briquettes to start like a Presto log, or you happen to get a split log that's drying out, do it off to the side. That way the flames are going up over here as it turns into hot coals. Flames are for light, hot coals are for cooking. That's one thing to remember about using both wood and charcoal and stuff like that. It depends. Like I said, it depends on the size, on how many people you're cooking for. If you're using a Dutch oven, if you're doing it, if you're just doing the foil packs and stuff, it depends how much you're using, how much you're cooking for. Because if you're just cooking for one person, you get by with less. You're cooking for a family of 6, you're going to need more. And that's the thing of it. $250. There's a man who does the barbecuing. Yeah. So the other thing too, if you do like Howie does, you can make your own charcoal, and then you can save it. And like you get wood, you get like a metal one of those small metal trash cans. You can keep it above ground. You can put it down in the ground, get a fire going on it, put the lid on it, let it go for a couple hours, and put it out. Stuff out, let it dry, and then you can take that and put that in bags, or you can put it in a tote, like one of those 27-gallon totes. Just put that in there, and that way you have your own charcoal all set up, and it's natural, and you don't have to worry about chemicals in it. So, that's an option there, is to plan ahead, make your own charcoal, cheaper than buying it. It just takes time. That's the thing. So you've got to weigh your time versus the cost of buying it pre-done. Let me see. I'm looking at something else up. Okay, there's different ones
like cooking
here.
with wood or charcoal.
Yeah, I was looking something up here. One company called Home Fire pressed logs are pure firewood logs without any added substances, not even paraffin wax, for it. They're produced from clean wood, which is recycled from lumber mills in British Columbia region. And let's see here. Regular Presto logs, 100% recycled biomass material. All right. And Lowe's carries the Presto logs. Let me show that picture here real quick. There's your Presto logs or Press 2 logs, and this is carried by Lowe's. So it's 100% natural wood, nothing added to it. What are the ingredients of Duraflame? Duraflames are a scientific blend that gets me nervous, a scientific blend of sawdust, wax, and unique fibers. Natural seed is added to some logs to create a crackling sound of a wood fire. Recycled fibers such as nutshells, seeds, fruit pits, distillery grains, and recycled cardboard. So the only thing I don't like, the wax in it, because it kind of changes how it burns a little bit. But you, if you're cooking it totally in foil, or you're got the Duraflame logs when they're starting to get down just the coals and stuff, you can put a Dutch oven over those. I never used wood pellets. A friend of mine, he had a pellet stove, and so he would get a bucket that he made with holes in it and get them going to cook on, from the bucket. But I never did that. Yeah, far as I know, pellet smokers need power to keep it going. Yeah, biochar is good for the garden, but when you're making your own charcoal, you don't take it down to down that far. You do bigger chunks on it. Yeah. No power, not an option unless you happen to have one of those power stations, because I think the little motor on a smoker is very low wattage. So you could probably run it off a power station. Yeah, you couldn't run an electric oven off of it or a microwave off the power station to do it right. So yeah. Yeah, there is, those you doing wood pellets. I'm gonna have to see if I can get a hold of Brent passed. My friend Brent passed away several years back. I got to check with either his daughter or his wife and see if they still have that little metal bucket thing that he made for it. Hey, Christy, how's it going? Let's see here. So that's Duraflame. Press. Yeah. Okay. So that's just saying that, about people are asking about creosote from them. So, okay, those are just some of the questions on it there. So yeah, you can use the Presto the Presto logs, the 100% ones. You get them going. They turn it, and they start getting to cook with. You first time doing it, I would be very careful, because sometimes those pressed logs, the way the heat radiates in, when they start falling apart, they're really hot. So they're really hot. So you need to keep an eye on how you're cooking in it and stuff. But if you're using Presto logs, and you have a cast iron skillet, You can actually see what you're frying up in the skillet. Oh, let's see what else about those. But basically, this is just another alternative for emergency cooking. I wanted to get out to everybody, get people thinking about, and hopefully you guys will share it with others about ideas and experiment. And it's summer, when it's summertime and you don't want to heat the house up cooking, do a campfire out in the backyard, or like on a Weber grill without the top on it. Just use it as a campfire stove pit, standing up off the ground, of course, and you cook it and experiment and see what you can find out, what works, what doesn't work. And you may wind up discovering, like, hey, this is something we want to do once a week. Do Saturday meals in the barbecue in foil or in a Dutch oven or something like that, so you can expand your cooking skills and find some unique recipes that are absolutely delicious. Hey, Colonel, how's it going? No. That was California.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
And they got overruled, and same thing with New York, with the fact that the federal government says you can't ban natural gas. There's one of the things on it. So yeah. Okay, we're getting good stuff here on the side. Sauteed collard greens and cast iron on the charcoal and soy sauce. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. And if you got your garden going, perfect time. Harvest some stuff, rinse it, right, and start cooking stuff. On a fire there outside, and learn to control the fire temperatures. You'll learn the more times you use it, you'll learn. Oh, okay. If we're doing briquettes on a Dutch oven, we don't need to have 12 briquettes underneath it. We only need 10, and we need 15 on top, or we'll only need 6 underneath, and we need 12 on top, or we need 13 on top. And
I plan on using my wood barbecue.
And what's neat, if you're using a Dutch oven, you can also make biscuits and bread and monkey bread and other lovely desserts in the Dutch oven. Line it with foil. Line it with foil first.
Yeah, I got to do that in my wood smoker. I got a wood stove with I welded a box on top where the chimney would go. Lots of creosote with, but I gotta use either my Dutch oven or something with a tin foil on top of it.
Hey, Chris, I was wondering, when you were in the Army, did you guys ever cook stuff? Do outside cooking using coals and stuff, and doing something when they're bored, or weren't really busy one time, and do like barbecue pit cooking? I know my wife's unit, they did one time down there. They were doing a thing, and they got done early, and they're all sitting around twiddling their thumbs. Okay, what are you doing? And the colonel's down there was like, "Have fun, guys." And so they dug a pit, and they went in, ran into town, got a bunch of cuts of meat and stuff brought out, and they did a big pit barbecue. Yeah. There is a charcoal briquette, chunk charcoals. Actually, my sister actually used coal. They had a coal-fired furnace when they were living in Salt Lake, And in the summertime, they actually took some of the coal and did, had a coal fire outside and cooked on it with the cast iron. And then, of course, the pressed wood logs, the pure wood ones, those are all options for cooking. And what's interesting, the pressed log ones are made to be burnt in a fireplace. So you can get several of them going and then cook off, use your foil, cook off the side where the main fire is going in the middle. Or you just slide it underneath the grate. And that will get the radiant heat down and the pieces of the coals that come off on it and stuff. Hey, Tammy. Yes, the kids woke me up. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can cook with coal, charcoal, pressed logs and stuff, indoors and out. If you have, especially if you have a wood burning stove, fireplace, do not use a hibachi or other type barbecue thing to try to get in the house cook. No. That is a carbon monoxide death trap. If you have a wood burning stove, you can get the fire going, move the coals to one side, flames to the other side, and you can cook inside the wood burning stove. Devil Dog Prepper, how you doing? So, yeah, those are some options. I hope I would love for you guys to do some experimentations. Oh, bingo, folks. Thank you for bringing that up. If there are any steel mills around you, check the railroad tracks leading to the steel mills. You'll find coals that, some of the hoppers don't close all the way and you get little pieces coming out. There was a coal-fired electrical plant in Contra Costa County. And for a while, I didn't know why I would always see teenagers up on the railroad tracks picking stuff up. They were picking up coal for their barbecues. So, yeah, you'd be surprised if you know some place where there's coal being used industrial, the railroad tracks leading that area, you'd be surprised what you can find sprinkled along the railroad tracks. All right, folks, we're hitting the hour mark here. I was on with Shadow Scout Swede for 3 hours today. So we had a great one. That was about home invasions, precautions, and safety and stuff. We had a talk over there. I broadcasted it as well to my channel, as well as Shadow Scout's doing it on his channel. So you can watch it on mine if you didn't see it this afternoon. Let's see, coming up here Monday, since Tammy's in here, we got Rebel Canners and Chef Tech here. We're going to be talking about where is it here? Where is it? There it is. Canning hot dogs and sausages and all sorts of good stuff. The kielbasas, the linguiças. Love linguiça. Anyways, we're going to talk about canning that on Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound. Starts at 8 o'clock Eastern. Tactical Tuesday is how would a worldwide famine affect you? And would it necessarily affect your garden? So we're talking about stuff like that here on Tactical Tuesday. Thursday night is the Midnight Ride. Starts at 10 o'clock Eastern. So does Tactical Tuesday. Friday on Camp Patton Family Compound, the topic is poison air. We're talking all the chemicals, the perfuming chemicals in your laundry soap, in your softeners, in your plug-in Glade, fresheners, your sprays in the house to get rid of stinky odors, all those nasty chemicals. That's the what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about next Friday for poison air. And then next Saturday here, tractors for prepping. That's the topic. Tractors for prepping? ? So we'll talk about that there. Thank you, Louis, for coming up and contributing. Thank you, everybody in the side chat for all your comments. Shawnee and Rebels and Utah Mike, checked off. Everybody, thank you for your questions and comments. And remember, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps. Water, food, medicine, clothing. Learn a new skill like cooking in foil. And try to do a year. This is a challenge for everybody. Try to do a year-round indoor garden, even if it's in one of those little aero gardens or 5-gallon bucket or a 27-gallon tote. Try doing an indoor garden year-round this year. All right? Take care. We'll see you around.
Have a good night.